quick episode recap. After finally meeting her hero once more, Lexia requests that Yuya marries her, insisting it's love at first sight. He feels it's too rushed, however, so she instead proposes they start out as friends. Owen informs Yuya that the king would also like an audience with him, and they set a date for the meeting, with Lexia promising to seduce him the next time they meet. He has officially transferred to Osei Academy as a student, and quickly impresses the students with his abilities. But his siblings then cause trouble on campus, as they brought a group of thugs to attack the school and kidnap Kaori. But Yuya steps up, and easily puts down everyone who gets in his way, eventually saving her. Despite everything, he forgives his siblings and makes peace with his past, earning trust and respect from his peers. Yuya now prepares to enter the other world, but recalls the warning from Owen about the forest he lives in, known as the Darkest Regions. It's a place teeming with powerful monsters that could easily destroy a large city, and this discovery causes Yuya to wonder more about the sage who used to live here. He ventures deeper into the forest, expecting to face stronger monsters, but suddenly hears a pained cry in the distance. It's a puppy being attacked by an orc. It attempts to gather its strength, but it's too exhausted to fight back. Watching not far away, Yuya discovers that the enemy is a level 600 orc king, with attack power over 20,000. He feels he wouldn't be able to fight it and prepares to retreat, but recalling his grandfather and his teachings, he just couldn't look the other way. Seeing the puppy continually get beaten, he knew he had to save it. Yuya wanted to distract the orc by throwing his spear at it, and charges forward, but he ended up one-shotting it. He ends up embarrassed for overthinking the situation when he ended up easily defeating it. It makes him recall the first monster he faced, and how easily he killed it with the spear as a level 1, and his interest in the sage who forged those overpowered weapons peaks. The puppy is wary of him, and Yuya offers it a healing potion, but it faints before he could help. He quickly treats its injuries, and immediately gains its favor. He tries to talk to it, and the puppy seems to understand him as Yuya concludes that it's all alone with nowhere to go. Instead, Yuya offers to take it with him, and upon its agreement, learns the taming skill, having it become his familiar. He checks its stats and learns it's a level 500 Black Fenrir, shocking Yuya at how strong it is. He wants to give it a name, and observing its black fur, decides to call it Night. Back behind the fence, he checks out the various high teardrops from the Orc King, but what interests him most is the hairbrush, which is the most practical. It has the ability to stimulate hair growth and keep hair healthy, so he uses it to brush Knight's fur. Yuya checks his own stats, and finds that his level progression is very slow. Given that he defeated such a strong enemy, he's surprised that he hadn't grown, but he figures he'll understand how leveling works eventually. He leaves Night at home, and heads off to school. Yuya asks his friends if they know of any pet shops nearby, stating he's recently adopted a dog. This stimulates Kaeta as she excitedly asks for pictures, but Yuya gets shy at her close proximity. She stutters an apology, and Yuya reveals he doesn't have any pictures, as he doesn't even own a smartphone. This elicits surprise from his friends, but Yuya defends he's never felt the need for one. The guys tell him about a shop nearby, but they unfortunately can't accompany him as they have prior plans. Kaeta is free, however, so she offers to go with him, and he thanks her for the help while she wonders if this counts as a date. When he gets home, he is greeted by Night, and he shows him the stuff that he bought at the store with Kaeta. He places the collar on Night and decides to take a trip outside with him. They go for a walk in the park, and they immediately attract public attention for looking handsome. He coincidentally runs into Kaori, and he introduces Night to her. She gets permission to pet Night, and enjoys the sensation of touching him. She inquires what breed Night is, but Yuya lies and states he doesn't know, because this species doesn't exist on Earth. Kaori observes that Night seems very intelligent, and comments he seems happy that Yuya took him in. A girl then calls out to Yuya, and it turns out to be Niu. She happens to live nearby, and usually takes walks around this time. Yuya introduces the girls to each other, and the onlooking crowd, with nothing better to do, observes how many beautiful people have gathered together. Before leaving, Niyu asks if Yuya plans to continue taking walks here. With his affirmation, she states she'll look forward to seeing each other again. Kaori nervously asks if Yuya is dating Miyu, but he gets shocked, stating they've only met once, and that he's obviously not good enough for her. Kaori, however, vehemently disagrees with this. A woman suddenly screams for help as a man runs away with her purse. Yuya immediately orders Knight to chase the man, while he and Kaori head over to check on the old lady. Knight soon returns while casually dragging the man back. He tells Kaori to call the police, but this agitates the man, and he charges at her to stop her. Yuya steps between them, casually disarming and pinning the man down. The crowd cheers for him, and Kaori thanks Yuya for saving her again. He continues to dive deeper into the forest, but now with his new companion. And together they defeat many strong monsters. They encounter another orc king, but unlike before, Knight is easily able to dodge its attacks and give a fatal blow to it by himself. They carry on, and they come across a crystal deer, which is much stronger than the Orc King. It has a high magic stat, meaning it likely uses magic. His thoughts are interrupted when he realizes that the beast detected him despite being invisible, and he has no choice but to fight. It charges at them, and they split up. Knight initiates the charge, but the deer charges its magic and creates an explosion. It fuses fire and ice magic, firing a large blast at Yuya, but he quickly gets out of the way. He concludes they need to divide up the roles to defeat the beast, and asks Knight to create an opening for him. Knight creates a distraction by rapidly moving around the deer, and it responds by sending a flurry of magic, creating havoc in the forest. But Knight manages to land a strike, and Yuya quickly finishes it off. As he checks out the drops left behind, Yuya notices a strange box, which turns out to be a portable luxurious bath. He's stunned a bath can actually be something dropped, and decides to check out its features, as he realizes there are many to choose from. However, the forest isn't a safe place to take a bath, so he returns home to enjoy soaking himself, commenting that baths really hit the spot. Soon after, they fight against another monster which has incredible agility stats, and he struggles to react to it. But it has weak stamina, so he dodges a sloppy attack that pinned it to a wall, and gives it a fatal strike. His level has now increased by 10, but he notices that Knight's level did as well. Rocks suddenly crumble away, revealing a cave hidden behind it, and the duo cautiously explore it. There's no signs of living creatures, and the cave gradually lights up as they enter a large cavern. Knight calls Yuya over, and he is shocked to discover a corpse. He claws at a strange book, but upon closer observation, he realizes it's a book written by the sage. At the same time, somewhere in a city, the subordinate of the prince is having a meeting with a masked woman. He requests for her to assassinate someone, but she states that her services will cost him.